Welcome to Meaningful Morning. Please relax the body, enjoy the breath, and quieten the mind, feeling appreciative of your physical and mental health. In our community, we have a seeker named Ram, and his father has had an injury and so is going in for a surgery. Offer your physical and mental health to him. The word Ishvara means the one who controls, the one who connects all of us. Your offering of your physical and mental health, this will be felt. Sarve santu niramayaha. May none feel harm. We're all going to feel hurt in certain ways, especially physically, but may none feel harm. When I arrived in the Chicago airport on Friday morning, I was attentive. I was feeling very lively. So I was looking around at a lot of people, looking at what they were wearing. And one person's shirt struck me and made me laugh out loud. It said, "Thou shall not try me. Mood 24/7. I'm sure you've seen those t-shirts or those mugs where there will be a message and it will be a quotation from the Bible. So this one was spun in a different way. Thou shall not try me. Mood 24/7. Now that's a very incendiary comment. It's a very reactive comment, and it's a joke t-shirt. In Meaningful Mornings, we try ourselves. When we say something wrong, that we reflect on that, we feel bad about it. If we make a wrong decision, for us to be internally embarrassed by it, to know that we can do better. For those who are trying themselves, those who are trying to be better, you will know this if you react less. You yourself are trying you, so if someone else tries you, you're already in this mood or this flow, so you react less. But if you find that you're a reactive person, everyone is trying you, and you're not used to it because you're not trying. Today, in our Vedanta and Bhagavata class, Rishi Shuka will offer his final message to Raja Parikshita. For a lot of us, this morning's class will be hour 160. Rishi Shuka never stays anywhere for more than the time it takes to milk a cow. Nobody knows how long that is. Everyone's staring at me. Yeah. Okay, then how long is it? Tell me the last time you did this. But this is like 3-ish minutes. Like 3-ish minutes. but he stayed with us for 160 hours. And a lot of what he's teaching right now relates to the yugas. Yuga means age or period. We are living in two yugas. One is the typical one, which is the external age or period. This relates to society. The culture of society. Is society selfish? Is society selfless? But just like the difference between macroeconomics and microeconomics, the macro is a group of micro. A society is a collective of individuals. So the more immediate and influential yuga is not the external environment, but the internal environment. For the one whose mind is quiet, they're not living in kali or selfishness, they're living in krita or integrity. For the one whose mind is loud, even if they're associating with inclusivity, they keep focusing on differences and distances. Clear. We live in two yugas. And if you think about serving society, if you live in Krita Yuga, or an age of integrity inside, it is a group of individuals that makes up society. We will affect our external yuga. Chapter 16 is very much about this. In verses 1 through 3, Shri Krishna shares values, the implication of which is one is not afraid to live. If you're following values, you like living, you like waking up, you like challenge, and so on. Verses 4 through 12. These are an expression of one who is an atheist. That term was introduced in these verses from the narrative of Sanatana Dharma. The definition of an atheist is one who does not have faith in the Veda. It is a very technical difference between a theist and an atheist, one who doesn't have faith in the Veda. What does Veda mean? Knowledge or knowing. Knowing life, knowing oneself. So these verses are showing what a person is like who doesn't feel that they are divine. And so naturally, they're not going to feel that the other person is divine either. The Veda teaches divinity, that you are divinity. All are divine. An atheist doesn't feel they're divine. If I don't feel I am, I'm definitely not going to feel you are. In verses 13 to 15, Shri Krishna takes up the psychology of one who is an atheist or one who is an asura or one who is selfish very clearly. The psychology of such a personality is filled with doership. This term we tend to only use in self-development forums. In a more day-to-day way, doership is a sense of smallness. You feel you're limited. Your identity is only this and this and this. Someone who feels small, their focus is on action and not attitude. And another way to look at this, since their focus is on action and not attitude, they're the ones who tend to be controlling, micromanaging. They care more about the process than the people. Those are all signs of doership. And for all of us here, I'd share that bhakti is an attitude and not an action. So doership is anti-bhakti. It is an anti-bhakti movement. A reconciliation from this before we continue with verse 16. If I feel I'm a small person, all I can do is small actions, that means I don't have enough faith in myself. And the way to nurture faith is manana, or reflection. Then I will feel in me divinity lives. And when I start to feel this, what naturally comes? Humility. Humility is not anti-bhakti, it is anti-doership. All of the dots are connected, everyone? Okay, smile and nod like you always do. Verse 16. 13 to 15 was the psychology of selfishness. 16 is almost like a therefore, like a concluding observation. Aneka chitta vibhrantaha moha jala samavritaha prasakta kama bhogeshu patanti narakeshu chau. Joy. It feels hard to say joy after we read all of this, but the ends is joy. The ends is joy. Shri Krishna shares, aneka, which means countless. Chitta, thoughts. Vibhrantaha, causing complete confusion. This does not describe you. When we are distracted, we are completely confused about what's in front of us, what's tomorrow, and so on. Reading a writing from Pujya Swami Chinmayananda. When an egocentric individual, please remember, distraction is the effect, the cause is doership, who has thus sold himself to sense indulgence, spends his time seeking his gratification from the world of objects, his mind becomes ever unsteady. The more your sense organs engage in sense objects, does it make you more focused or more distracted? More distracted. Here, and in our Devi retreat, shortly after meaningful mornings, we pretend to contemplate. Every once in a while, I open my eyes and I see that contemplation has turned into dance class. Do you want to know how they dance at 7:30 a.m. here? And their bodies are rocking like this. This aneka chitta, as I've shared with many of you in contemplation classes, is called vikshepa. Vikshepa means distraction. But that's not our first challenge. Our first challenge is laya, or drowsiness. What is the antidote to feeling lethargic, especially in contemplation? It is when your lifestyle is oriented towards shuddha, which means purification. If you do that, which is oriented towards being more balanced, being more focused, then when you have to focus, like in contemplation, you will not feel drowsy, you will not feel distracted. If your lifestyle is not oriented towards this, again, one will pretend to contemplate. This feels like moha, confusion. Jala, cage. Samavrittaha, this cage from all sides. Now sharing some scary poetry with all of you. This second quarter has other descriptions. Abdhi, try to visualize this. Abdhi means an ocean. What kind of ocean? Bhava, an ocean of becoming. You become this, but it doesn't end. So you have to become that. That doesn't end. So you have to become this. Now in this ocean, and now earlier in this chapter, this term was used, we are in a pasha. Pasha means net. Net of what? Asha, which means expectation. So I'm in this ocean of becoming, in this net of expectation, and now I'm in a jala, which means a cage. So within this net, there's a cage. It's even more confining, and this is a cage of confusion. The poetry is awesome, correct? The visualization, but the feeling is not awesome. When one feels so small, prasaktaha, they become addicted. Addicted to what? Kama, which is pleasure. And then if there's another word like bhoga, since they're synonymous, that means possession. We'd come across that earlier too. Now, when I share a term like prasaktaha, to be addicted, here we deflect. I'm not addicted to Coca-Cola. I'm not addicted to donuts. I'm not addicted to my phone and so on. This doesn't apply to me. Addiction only relates to articles. What this plays out like with people is attachment. I may not depend on Netflix, but if I depend on my sister, it's the same addiction. One is external more so, one is internal more so. And that's why an earlier term was used, abhijanavan, which means look at my birth, look at my family. Patanti, such a psychology causes one to fall. Fall through ashuchao, impurity, and finally one feels like narake. They're in where? Hell. Next chapter, we will be introduced to the 3 gateways to hell. We're already there. Shri Krishna will only verbalize where we are. One final reconciliation, then I do have to elaborate more on this last quarter. Doership triggers deservership, which triggers distraction. How can I come out of this? The more you know divinity or your trust triangle, the more you will actually depend on divinity, your trust triangle, so you won't be as distracted. When you're afraid, you have 1,000 thoughts. When you're courageous, you have 1 thought, just the assignment in front of you. Know more about divinity. From inspiration to application, your application was, which of these verses has punched you the hardest? All of them is a legitimate answer. For me, it is verse 7, where Shri Krishna shares, na nivritti. One who is selfish doesn't know what not to do. And some of you have shared the same. We are very efficient at justifying what we want to do. If you don't know what not to do, that's a scary experience. Your application for this morning is I want you to play with leaves. Not digital leaves like SimCity. Go outside and play with leaves. That is your application. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Be joy.